Welcome to the Deep Dive. If you're operating in today's competitive talent market, well, you know the pressure is immense. Recruitment isn't just about filling seats anymore, is it? It feels more like a strategic arms race for talent. And the old ways, they just aren't cutting it. Speed, accuracy, they're everything now.
That's absolutely right. And looking through our sources here, there's this really fascinating evolution happening. Artificial intelligence, AI, it's moving past just being, a standalone tool, like a fancy keyword search. It's actually becoming a real collaborative partner in recruitment. So our mission today is to unpack exactly how that partnership works, what it means for you, for your business.
Okay, collaborative partner. I think we need to pin that down straight away. We're calling it collaborative AI. But it's not like robots doing the final interview, right? It's more about synergy.
Exactly. It's synergy. At its core, collaborative AI combines the best of both worlds. You get AI's incredible efficiency, its power with data, but you combine it with that essential human judgment, the intuition. It's just smarter.
Hmm.
It addresses the limits of just AI or just humans. AI handles the scale.
And the human handles the context.
Precisely.
And the results are pretty staggering. Based on what's in these sources, we're seeing some really surprising numbers, big cuts in hiring time, real improvements in who actually gets hired, which, let's be honest, means saving significant costs down the line.
Absolutely. It shifts recruitment from being purely reactive to, well, almost predictive. We'll get into the specifics, like a 50% time reduction, a 35% jump in higher quality, big numbers. But first, let's break down the mechanics. How does this partnership actually divide up the work?
Okay, let's unpack that split. If it's a partnership, the roles have got to be clear. So AI is the data engine. What does that mean beyond just, screening resumes? I think we all get that basic idea. What's the advanced?
All right, it's much more than basic filtering. The AI is the ultimate data engine, sure, but it's sophisticated. The research points to advanced natural language processing, NLP, really digging into candidate profiles. It's not just scanning for 3 years of Python.
So what is it doing then? What makes it different?
Well, it's correlating success markers across the entire pool of applicants. It looks at things like tenure consistency, the complexity of projects described, the density of related skills. It scores people based on proven patterns from the company's own past hiring data, high performers, basically. It can synthesize context from hundreds, maybe thousands of resumes at once. A human can't do that, not at scale. And it avoids fatigue, volume issues. So, no great candidate gets missed because their CV looked a bit different.
Okay, so the AI serves up this really meticulously scored ranked shortlist, maybe the top 5%,
Right.
based purely on objective data points predicting capability. But the sources are very clear. The human recruiter still holds the final decision power. So where does the data stop, and where does that essential human context take over?
That's the handover point. The human becomes the context provider, where pure data kind of loses its meaning. Their role becomes entirely qualitative, assessing cultural fit, for instance, testing behavioral responses live, handling tricky negotiations, evaluating risk, things that are just too fluid, too human to code accurately.
Right, you could teach a machine to spot skills on paper, maybe.
Yeah.
But you can't really program it to gauge if someone's personality will click with the existing team's dynamic.
Exactly. That human element ensures alignment with the company mission, the team environment. So the collaboration is really about mitigating risk, fundamentally. The AI identifies who can do the job based on measurable stuff. The human figures out who will thrive and add value based on the organizational reality. It changes the recruiter's job, doesn't it? From a paper sifter to more of a strategic talent orchestrator.
A huge shift. And this is where it gets really interesting because we move from the how to the so what. The results. Let's talk hard numbers. The payoff. The sources give us concrete metrics, starting with efficiency.
Efficiency is, maybe the low-hanging fruit here, but the improvement is dramatic. Research suggests leveraging AI for that initial screening, the admin-heavy tasks. It cuts the initial recruitment cycle time by 50%. 50.
50%.
Yeah.
Wow. That's profound. That time saving isn't just a number on a page. It's opportunity cost recovered, right?
Yeah.
If you get half your sifting time back, recruiters can actually focus on the human side. Proactive engagement, building relationships, managing the candidate experience, which is so crucial in this market.
And that focus directly impacts the quality metrics. Time saved means better quality. Recruiters are less rushed, more focused on proper assessment. There's a detailed 2025 industry report in our materials. It shows this blended approach boosts overall higher quality by a phenomenal 35%.
35%. That's a seismic shift. Think about the cost of a bad hire, especially at senior levels. It can be 1 to 3 times their salary easily, cutting those mistakes by 35%. That hits the bottom line directly, a massive impact on the P&L.
Huge financial risk mitigation, yes. And the sources also talk about how the system keeps getting smarter, adaptability. This is where the machine learning really comes into its own.
Okay, I want to understand that adaptability mechanism. How does the AI actually learn from the human's choices? Is the human essentially grading the AI's suggestions?
In a way, yes, they are. Let's say the AI ranks candidate A low, but the human recruiter sees something, maybe a strong cultural fit, hires them anyway, and 6 months later, that candidate is a star performer. The human feeds that positive outcome back, explicitly. The machine learning model then immediately adjusts its weighting. It learns from that success.
So if that successful hire had, say, a non-traditional background but scored high on teamwork in other ways, the AI learns to value those specific markers more highly going forward, across the whole pool.
Precisely. It learns from those positive deviations, those successful hires that didn't fit the initial mold perfectly. It keeps the AI model current, adaptive, tuned to what actually predicts success in that specific company, not just relying on potentially outdated static data. Now, whenever we talk about AI, especially in hiring, trust comes up. It has to. How do users, how do clients build confidence in a system that's part machine? The sources really stress that this collaborative model is key for building that trust.
Right. If the machine hands you the top 5%, you need to know why. There has to be transparency and clear human accountability somewhere.
Absolutely. Human oversight is the mechanism for quality control and transparency in this model. Because the human is the final decision maker, the context provider, they act as that essential audit layer. They often have to justify why they might go against the AI's recommendation, which reinforces the system's integrity.
Okay, I see the need for the audit layer. But what about the risk of, well, automation bias? If recruiters constantly get these pre-filtered persuasive lists from a smart algorithm, do they stop thinking critically? Do they just sort of trust the machine too much? How do the sources address that?
That's a really critical point, and the reports we looked at are clear. Successful use requires training recruiters to be skeptical partners, not just rubber stamps. The best performing agencies, apparently, they mandate recruiters to regularly review the AI's rejections too, the people who didn't make the cut, and provide structured feedback on those. It forces the human to keep checking the AI's underlying assumptions, prevents that passive acceptance.
That makes a lot of sense. So the human isn't just interviewing candidates, they're kind of monitoring the AI's health, too. And this more rigorous collaborative approach seems to be winning over the industry. What are the adoption rates looking like?
Adoption's been fast, and the feedback is strong. The sources mention significant operational gains. They cite that 60% of staffing agencies reported better client satisfaction by 2025 using these models. That high satisfaction rate, that's market validation. It shows the synergy is delivering something genuinely better.
60% is huge, and it points right back to that combined value, doesn't it? The client gets the speed and scale of AI, but also the assurance that a human, who gets their company culture, made the final call. Faster decisions, yes, but without losing that crucial personal touch. So looking ahead now, what does this all mean for the near future of talent acquisition? Is this partnership the new normal, the stable state? Or is there another level coming?
Based on the source material, this collaborative model is the standard now, but it's definitely not static. It's evolving fast. The future seems to be about deeper integration, moving beyond just the pre-screening phase. The research specifically mentions AI features being used during virtual interviews, including quite sophisticated sentiment analysis.
Sentiment analysis. That's fascinating. So the machine starts trying to quantify the intangibles during the interview itself, beyond just skills.
Yeah, they're becoming highly refined tools, mapping vocal tones, tracking micro-expressions, maybe identifying hedging language patterns, effectively trying to score traits like emotional stability, confidence, resilience under pressure. It's AI augmenting the human's own observations during that very subjective interview process.
It feels like the next logical steps making the partnership even stronger. The ultimate goal, laid out in the material, seems to be a future where recruitment is both cutting-edge technologically, but also truly people-centered and strategically sound.
And that really is the core takeaway for you today, I think. Collaborative AI is emphatically not about replacing people with machines. It's about using tech to kill the admin burden, the drag, and actually amplify human expertise. It frees up recruiters to focus on the complex, strategic, uniquely human parts of the job.
Which brings us neatly to our final provocative thought for you to consider today. If these future AI tools get really good at sentiment analysis in interviews, actively scoring, communication style, emotional responses, those intangibles, how will knowing you're being assessed by both a human and a machine change how candidates prepare, how they present themselves? Could authenticity itself become a measurable, even trainable skill in the job market of tomorrow?
Something to chew on, definitely, whether you're writing a job description or polishing up your own resume.
We'll see you next time for the next deep dive.